Okay.
Good morning, and welcome to the Bay Oaks Recreational Campus Advisory Board meeting, commonly known as BORCAB. It is Tuesday, September 6th, 2022 at 9:01 a.m., and we're in the Town Hall chambers. Would you all please rise for our pledge to the flag? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, as always, for the benefit of our transcriber, let's start with our liaison, our town council liaison, Dan.
Dan Allers.
Becky Guidry.
Barbara Hill.
Betty Simpson.
Karen Woodson.
Beth Cherry.
And Allison Geeson.
Very good. And you said that Bruce has an excused absence?
I believe he does.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you. At this time, let's have the approval of the minutes of the August 10th meeting.
I motion to approve. Barbara Hill.
Motion by Barbara.
I'll second. Becky Guidry.
Becky, second. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. At this time, that brings us to item 6 on our agenda, the review of the 4th of July parade guidelines.
So I wanted to let you all know this comes up every now and then, and it came up this July 4th to just have you all to review these guidelines as a, make sure everything is relevant and that you don't see any changes that need to be recommended to town council because they will be going before them soon. So I wanted you all to have a chance to read over it and make any suggestions, recommendations for them to think about for this application and the rules and regulations.
I didn't realize this was part of the BORCAB's jurisdiction.
I didn't either.
I didn't either when I was reading it.
It's because it's a Bay Oaks thing, so it is. We handle all of the parade applications and as well as all the fireworks. So it is something that the department is responsible for.
So that's in our strategic plan then too, in terms of, I didn't realize
This was
that
recommended that you all look it over since it's going to go to council for input.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
was there an issue that we should be concerned about, or it's just a review?
Just to review, just
Okay.
to see if there's anything that you think, standards of signage and things like that. Dan, you were in the parade, if you wanted to let them know of how it's gone over the past couple of years, or?
Yeah, it seems like it's one of the smaller parades, maybe just because it is summer and people aren't here, but it's one of my favorites, obviously. So if there's anything you guys can think of that would entice people to want to come out and be involved, the town did a really good job on putting a float in this year, and there was a couple of other new ones. So I don't know if it's more promotion or what we can do, but it's always a fun one, and that's a lot of kids involved in that one.
I did notice this year was short. How do we get people? Like
Can you be more specific? I don't understand.
just like as far as the actual parade was, it seemed shorter than normal. Maybe it wasn't, but yeah, the amount of participants, like how do people, I know people know there's a 4th of July parade, but like how do we promote it or?
Like we do all other events in the paper, we do social media, we tell everybody.
I've seen it in the paper, yeah.
So we do what we normally do. Jenny Dexter, the public information officer, helps us get the word out. So it's the same as we always have, do flyers and things like that, just to let people know, because it is a big event for our department. Yeah.
And are these, and who's on the parade committee?
Where is that at, Barbara?
At the very beginning, number 1, are selected by the parade committee. Who is that?
So that's something that'll have to be, because we just accept people's applications. There's never been so many that we've had a committee that I remember. Do you, Dan, remember?
Not that I know of. I mean, I'm usually not in charge of submitting the application. I'm usually in charge of building a float.
You're the fun part of the,
And costumes.
yes.
No, that falls in the wife's department.
Oh, okay.
Does,
So we need a definition of that, I think would be helpful.
that
Yeah.
would be helpful, just to know what the guidelines are as to how they, if
Sure.
we get a lot of participants, what is the criteria for selecting?
Okay, thank you, Barbara.
And another issue is that, are these people all from the town of Fort Myers Beach, or can they come from Cape Coral? Can they come from Fort Myers?
They come from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it is open to all of Florida, all of Southwest Florida, all of Lee County? Are there guidelines?
No, you have an application and come and
So somebody from Michigan can apply?
they could.
Yeah, they had the
If they wanted to be
firefighters
here.
that one year.
You bet. No, and we used to
Oh,
have,
yeah, that were down here, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think we had a lot more of this at the Shrimp Festival, when we had all the floats and everything coming out from town. I didn't see that this last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And maybe they didn't have as much in town either, so I don't think they didn't come out to the beach for any reason, except that there may not have been that many floats in that parade.
Well, I can tell you, is the one that usually is building the floats, it was much more expensive to build a float this year than it has in past years, so that may have had something to do with it.
Good point, Dan, thank you. Thank you. Any other comments on that?
Do you guys re-solicit the people who have participated in the past? Do you send them the application year over year, or how do you, or do you just
And
assume?
the chamber really helps us as well. The Fort Myers Beach Chamber always helps get the word out, so people who want to participate, they do. It's been a little hard this last year because we didn't have it the past 2 years. If you all remember, we had the fireworks, but we didn't have the parade last year.
Right.
And so it's been
Exactly.
2 years. And as Dan mentioned, when you're dealing with rising cost of food and things that are necessities, this is not something a lot of people have the money to be able to put into it for whatever reason. So I think participation for this year should not be gauged on any one specific thing because it was a lot of different things.
Okay. Any other comments on that?
So is this the guideline that is from last year, and this had been based on previous guidelines? So over the years, there really hasn't been any significant changes?
There's not been any updates, that's right. And,
None, no updates?
So, and a lot of things as, you know, what people throw due to our new
Yes.
stormwater and environmental concerns of our island that we want to have be safe. So some of this I know has been updated and added on for those reasons, for people not to throw things that may be harmful to our marine life or to go down into our stormwater drains.
Okay, but it does allow them to throw items and candy in, according to this, so are you
That will
saying-
be updated.
Oh, so that is going to be changed, so what I'm
It's
seeing
to the
here.
guidelines of whatever that would be, so I don't know what those are. But it'll make its rounds to utilities and to Chad, the environmental, so it'll make rounds for that.
Okay, so they're the ones that are making those changes? not
Yes, they should just let us know what we can do and what would be safe. Yeah.
Any other comments on that? So this was really more an FYI, since this is new to us.
It is, and I just wanted for you all to be aware, it will be coming up for council's discussion and approval to see if they want to have any changes made to it.
Oh, okay,
Want to bring up your
all
political?
right.
And there's no fee for any participants, this is all,
The fee is on the application.
oh, yeah, that's right, here
Yeah, on
it is,
the
yes, the
application.
business 40,
Right.
and that hasn't changed in years.
Right, and nonprofit families are
Families are free.
We really, you know, as Councilmember Aller stated, we really want people to have fun and come out, and if they're on vacation, or just to participate and have fun with us, so.
Has the political part always been in there? Because I mean, going to different parades, I'm sure I've seen the people who are in politics on different floats, but maybe that's the shrimp parade that I've seen them out there?
I think we had some in ours that got in the paper this time.
Yeah.
that
So
were
how do they
on-
make it in if it says that they're not supposed to be out here for political campaigns? And
That's just what people do.
so they come in under one agenda and adjust or amend?
The paper had some photographs of some people with signs that were walking in the parade that we didn't actually have registered.
Oh,
Okay,
so they just hopped on the bandwagon.
I mean, you know, it's a parade.
Right.
But then if those,
It wasn't a float, though. They didn't have a float or anything.
oh, so that would be the criteria for a
Yeah.
float, but
We have
not for an
cars and
individual.
floats and all kind, and people bring other things as well to be able to be in the parade. We have the Mustang Club, and so people do different things. This, as far as I know, this has always been in there, that statement, but, you know, it can likely change. It's supposed to be a family-friendly parade. That's really what we geared it towards for the department, is for it to be family-friendly, so.
In essence, all of the town parades are sponsored by the town or organized by the town.
This is the only one I know of. The boat
Okay,
parade
this
is the
is
Fort
the only
Myers
one.
Beach Chamber, so that's not our parade. This is the
Okay,
only one that
that's
I know.
the difference.
Parade's
And
probably
in the
Lions Club.
strategic plan, Barbara, it does have special events, so this falls under us.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's,
Okay.
now I know the difference between
Yeah.
the St. Patrick's Day Parade
Oh,
or,
yeah, and the Shrimp
Yeah.
Festival,
There's
that's all
Shrimp-
other,
Shrimp
yeah.
Festival,
This is the
Yeah.
only one the town organizes.
Right.
And, you know, this is the only one we,
So St. Patrick's Day, is that Lions Club too?
yeah, that's not ours.
Privately done,
Oh, it's privately done.
organized, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, we have lots of wonderful parades. This is the only one in town.
Yes.
And Utilities Department, Christy Corey and her team did a really great job with the town float, so
Yeah, the town float was really cute.
it was very nice, yeah.
it would be nice one day to have a Mound House float. We
Yes,
talked about
yeah.
that years ago, remember?
We certainly
were trying to
did.
get the
Well, if you
ball
would like
rolling.
to volunteer, we would gladly.
I know it.
Exactly.
Want you to know, we'd love
We have talked. All right.
Or maybe it could be a combined effort. Maybe it could be Bay
Yeah.
Oaks, the Mound House, you know, like all of the,
Yes, yeah.
all the parks.
All the
kind of-
various,
Yeah.
community
Then it would be more people.
sponsored events.
Right, right.
Okay, are there any more
I can,
comments?
I can tell you the problem is finding the people that are willing to come out and help.
It's always the same one.
Everybody has great ideas, and then when it comes time to start swinging the hammer and using the tape measure,
Oh, everybody has their own ideas.
all of a
You
sudden,
bet.
everybody's
yeah.
out of town.
Community service hours for teenagers.
There you go.
Good idea.
That would be good.
High schoolers need community service hours.
I'll be there.
Exactly.
Actually,
That would be great.
Build a float.
that would be huge.
It would be kind of cool to get them out here.
Allison, I wonder if, bringing up what Beth said about the political stuff, if that should maybe go to John, and have John, as we're looking at,
Sure.
the messaging content issue of the signs, if that would fall under that restriction or lack
Yes,
thereof.
that's a very good point. I'll make sure to have him look that over.
Here.
John Heron,
The town.
Oh, right.
not John King.
Okay. All right,
Anything else on that?
okay, thank you. All right, well then let's move on to the redevelopment plan update.
There's a whole back page.
All right, so things are moving forward on this. And it's the same list, just some things moved up, said October or August, now they're September, but most everything is pretty much on schedule. Do you all have any questions or anything about the redevelopment? And I did ask Jason if you had specific questions to see if he could pop in if you needed him to answer some things.
No, it's not in my packet. I picked up the packet early, so.
Yeah, me too. Well, I can just share yours if you don't mind.
It's on the back.
Yeah, it was on the back page of,
No, like on the back of a page, inside of it.
yeah,
No, it's not on ours.
We picked it up early, so.
okay. Because I know I crossed that one out and took this one.
It's behind the application for the parade.
Yes, yeah, yep.
I have a question. I know that we're now at the point where these bids, this scope of services is going to go out to bid. That's kind of where we are right now? Is that the understanding now that the permitting is done?
Sorry.
And so apparently this has happened before, but what happens if we don't have any bidders based on the fact that we've got such a limited budget and this project is so extensive?
So I'll have to get Jason to, that's not my purview right there to be able to answer that. Did anybody else have any other questions?
How far do we get with the entryway that they're working on right now? Is it gonna be like completely finished?
So that's
move
the,
on, or-
that's this right here.
That's the sports court.
So the final completion is,
This month.
this month.
Okay,
We're very
so that'll be out there, ready to go, ready to use, while everything else is in process.
The installation, of the equipment.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Think you
So
heard his
Jason, the
name.
question is,
there's.
what if we don't have any bidders, then what do we do? Which this hasn't even been publicized.
Sure.
to be up to bid.
So good morning, everybody. Jason Freeman, Public Works, for the record. I think in that case, we're getting ready to put this thing out to bid, and then if not, we'll have to reexamine the bidding options. We just want to make sure we're following the procurement policies and legally with the state and with the town. But then I think we just have to explore some other options from there. And then, what was the other question?
The Estero Boulevard, the new parcel, and I told
Front
him
parcel.
that, yeah, was in September, it would be completed, and the
Sure.
National Fitness Court equipment will go in. Make-
Is,
Right.
is that fitness court already installed? No.
No.
Just concrete.
The concrete, right.
Oh, the concrete pad?
Yeah, they've got
but not
the
the
pads
equipment
in.
itself.
Concrete had
Exactly.
to actually sit and cure for so many days.
And it rains every day.
But is, yeah,
Right.
We're waiting and then scheduling with them to come out.
Right.
is the equipment here?
Yes.
Equipment's here, correct? Yep, and concrete's in, so we're working on getting the paving scheduled. That should be within the next couple of weeks, and then as soon as the fitness court company can come out and
Really?
install that, so.
And then that'll be open so that we can enter through that as well.
I have no
at that
idea how
time?
that's fallen out.
Yeah, I believe so. So part of the project was working with Lee County, since it's a Estero Boulevard, working on a right-of-way permit to make that curb connection in there. So that's getting wrapped up now. We'll work on landscaping, the fitness court, equipment installation, and then I believe it should be open to the public to pull into.
By the end of this month?
That's what we're hoping for.
Oh,
Timeline.
Just know things sometimes change.
Correct.
good.
Will they have a separate ribbon cutting, welcoming thing announcement about that too, before any of the Bay Oak stuff?
That would be a Jenny Dexter. She's the one who handled all of the one for Bayside. So I'll ask her about that, but no.
I mean, I just think it'd be cool if we did, because that way people will know
Oh,
that it's
exactly.
open, and maybe they'll start
Exactly.
using it right away instead of just word of mouth or driving past it.
I'm sure something will be planned.
Well, and then the fence will be down and maybe some shrubbery or little landscaping.
But the driveway won't be utilized until a certain time in the future.
I believe so. So I think we'll make sure it's safe up to code, it's safe for vehicles, and then I think that'll be the decision at that point. So right now, we're just waiting on materials for everything, make sure the paving goes in, make sure the fitness court company can come out as quick as they can to install that, and then after that, we'll do some landscaping, and it should theoretically be ready to open to the public.
And then you can actually drive through it, and that, I think,
Yes.
would be the time
Oh.
when maybe an event could be scheduled that,
Yes.
I
you
believe
know,
so.
talk about like
Yep.
maybe
Sure.
phase one or phase one or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The front parcel, at
The
least,
front
correct.
part, yeah,
Right.
which, you know, was a long-term goal of the town for many years. where,
Exactly.
You know, this was the main reason for this conversation about redevelopment, was having that additional access to Bay Oak. So that's a big part of what got a much larger project going. Getting back to the bidding, so you're saying that this is going out for bid like this week, or is that going to be?
I think it's on the schedule for, we had in there September, October, so we're hoping for the next couple of weeks.
Advertise, it's actually, yeah. So we're a little bit, 100% plans, invitation to bid October. So it's right here on your schedule. It's very specific.
I think my only concern is that, you know, and there have been a lot of projects, obviously, with, you know, budgets as
Exactly.
they are, that if you only have a $5.5 million budget and you're putting this out to bid, which most contractors will say, you know, they've got to be kidding, and then they're not going to have any bids, but you do have options, is what I'm hearing.
I think so, yeah, that's something we'll have to explore, once we put it out to bid, just following the town's procurement policies and everything, we'll go to that. I know it's been done in the past before, where you have to look at other options if you don't receive any bids, so.
Okay.
We'll definitely start working on looking into that, though, of what we can do.
And that's something that has been done in the
Sure.
past and is being done right now with our fireworks vendor. So there's ways that we can handle that. We're just waiting to see if we actually need to do that.
Right,
Because
yeah.
we're not gonna put the effort into that if we don't know that we need to do that yet,
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
But there's
exactly.
definitely always a plan B.
Understand.
Yeah.
We'll look into it for sure.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Of course.
Jason, when is the plan for putting up the new entrance sign that was discussed and designed by?
So we have that in production right now, so it's just waiting on the sign company to see how long it takes them to finish production, and then we'll get it installed. So I believe a couple weeks ago, we got the final proof that you all, I know, gave some comments on, and then we got that into production. So as quick as I can make it for us, we'll work on getting that installed up there in the front parcel.
We'll keep you posted, and I'm sure Jenny will have something to share, and I'll make sure you all know about any ribbon cutting or anything. I just don't have anything yet, because we're still waiting, so.
Making progress on it.
Yes.
It'd probably be nice to be able to have that sometime when a lot of our winter residents start coming back
sure.
to
Yes.
town, so that there's greater participation.
And we got the plumbing for the water fountain going, so the infrastructure's there except for the paving, so now it's just working on beautification and landscape after that, so. Perfect.
Well, I just want to
Very good.
congratulate the town for the successful dedication opening of Bayside.
Thank you.
That was a great event,
That was great.
and the park looks wonderful.
Great.
Just as a public service announcement, that is not a foot wash. It's for the dogs.
No, seriously.
What are you
people
saying?
using it for a
Well,
wash?
the first thing I thought of when I saw it is someone is going to inevitably wash their feet. in it.
Right,
Oh,
but it's a dog watering.
It's a dog water.
Oh, my gosh.
We have that
You
same
laugh, but-
fountain planned going into that front parcel too, right next to the fitness court, so.
Is it going to be the same?
I believe so.
It's actually
You
really
have to
neat.
put directions.
Yeah, it's
on
not
something
to
like
get the
that.
sand off your feet.
No. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
It takes all kinds.
Or doggers.
Yep.
Oh, in the park, yeah.
People can do it anyway.
I have another question with
Yeah.
regard to Bayside, with regard to the veterans
Yes.
dedication or whatever it is that they're going to memorialize.
Sure.
Who's overseeing the design of that? And does that come before our board, or is that handled internally? How is that done, or is that a council decision?
I can kind of give you, for those of you that maybe don't have a background on that, previous councils and this council were in discussions with Forrest Kritzer
Yes.
about coming up and working with the veterans to come up with a design. DRMP did put in the original plans a suggested idea of what it could look like, but not necessarily what it had to look like. And that's why the infrastructure went in for whatever was designed. As of now, there really hasn't been any discussions that I have heard of. I plan on reaching out to Forrest again and seeing if there's still intention of doing that. If not, I'm quite certain someone's going to pick it up and run with it. So it hasn't been forgotten about, despite what some people are saying. But that is why it's not currently in there. The discussions from, again, previous councils on were that the town would provide the land for it, but the money was going to be raised for it by another committee or.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the town, but the town was going to provide a spot, whether it was in the front or the back or wherever. So that's kind of where it was left at. So it wasn't necessarily that the town didn't do it or didn't have the money to do it, or that the discussions were and the agreements were from the beginning, even I think before I was on council, to have another group design it, because they're the ones that lived it, they're the ones that did it, you know, what's important to them, and that's kind of where we're at in the process.
Well, and I think it's great that there is that public-private partnership, and I think it is appropriate for the town of Fort Myers Beach to have a spot available that they could then consider, but that the fundraising would come from a various veterans groups. So I'm completely supportive of what the council has done. However, what I would like to see is if there are design proposals that are coming before council, that it come to us first. I mean, I think what we've got now is a wonderful, clear visual corridor between the two properties, Times Square and Bayside, and to keep that visibility open. And so anything that would be proposed would be more linear and maybe about the same height as that seating, the little
wall.
bench.
Yes, the
Yeah, the
wall.
small
Yeah,
wall.
the seating.
So, and I don't know if the town can be responsible for providing scope of services in terms of, you know, this is where it can be, this is how high it can be, and then we look forward to seeing your various designs. But, I mean, if the veterans group comes up with $200,000 and they want to build a 15-foot structure, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to see some oversight, whether it's council or our board.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into it. I know that part of the design of the whole project there in that rain garden area was leaving the space for the Veterans Tribute, so we'll make sure.
If you could, Jason, maybe send them what DRMP originally kind of had in the design for Bayside Park, so if you hadn't had a chance to see it, it's worth taking a look at, just to kind of get an idea. Speaking about the low-lying, it was very nice. Each branch had their own special monument, if you will, and it was very low. It wasn't intrusive to being able to see through. So the discussions have always been had about keeping that view corridor open.
Yes.
And that monument would fit right in with that. So if you want to take a look at it, Jason, I'm sure could send you over what were in the original plans, just as an idea, something to work off of. And maybe that'll get some of, I know Karen, your husband's a vet, so maybe that he has some input on it. So
Yeah.
I think those are the people that should be really involved in what inevitably goes there.
And we've seen so many of them at, the Veteran Memorial graveyards and things like that too, where the entrances and that type of thing. So I did have another question too. So one of the things that we noticed right away, so the musician was on the stage and there were extension cords running everywhere because there's no outlets on the stage. Can that be rectified? Because otherwise you've got extension cords everywhere. Every time somebody's up there talking, performing, being mic'd, there's no,
There's no electrical service to the stage?
no, we didn't see any.
Is that true?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't believe that there is, but I'll have to check and see what the reasoning was behind that.
Yes.
It's
Wow.
it's on my list of
Obviously, if
discussion
there
items.
was cords.
That is a glaring
Yeah.
error in my view. I mean,
Right.
that's sort of plan, 101.
Exactly.
Providing electrical. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know Dan saw it right away too, and we're like, what's with all these extension cords?
when the heck did that happen?
It's on my discussion item.
I guess that's a DMR, I don't know, it was a budget, probably. I
Is
don't
there
know.
anything else for Jason that he could answer for you all?
No, but he's been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you again for your remarks on Bayside Park. It was definitely a coordinated effort between a lot of people, so I
Yeah,
really
no, it was
appreciate the
great. It
feedback.
worked out really well.
Looking forward to the next projects.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right. Well, that gave us some clarification on a couple things and questions on others. So, all right.
So I just do have a question, because we haven't heard anything lately. So I know, obviously we borrowed money and have that money sitting. Is there any other work being done on grants or anything like this for Bay Oaks?
I just submitted a $200,000 grant, so we'll see if we get that
Okay.
through the Florida DEP. But it just recently closed the end of this month, so it'll be a little while. We're
How long does
applying
that usually
for-
take? How long does it usually take for
I've never
response?
applied to that one.
In general, on grants?
I don't, this is a new one. I've never applied for this one before. It's a state grant. I do know that any grants that are out there, staff is busily applying for them. So, but that's the only one that I know of. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, that would kind of be nice to have maybe at our next meeting as an update of what's been applied for, where we are in the process, that kind of thing. Just, to know if we have any kind of extra money to help cover kind of these things, or what these bids come in at. That's going to be really interesting at this juncture with the economy and everything else.
Okay, I'll be glad to do that.
Who's in
Thank you.
charge? At our last meeting, when our town manager was here, he mentioned that we're more of a local park. Was that correct? And not, like, we're not getting any money from Lee County as far as taxpayer. It basically, we're not qualified
There was
correctly.
a difference between a regional park and a local park. And
Right.
all the rest of the parks are regional parks, and for some
Right.
reason, Fort Myers Beach is considered a local park.
Right.
I
So
picked
how do
up
we
on
fix
that
that?
too.
Is that because they turned it over to the town
It's
years
been
ago?
like
They
that
did. They
for
turned it
5
over.
years
They
at
turned it
least.
when
They
we
turned the town
incorporated.
over when we
Many years ago.
incorporated.
Well, you said nobody's looked at it for 5 years. I mean, there's there's parks all over
Well,
in different towns.
But they email me annually to
Okay.
input my information to see if anything changes for that criteria to change. So they do constantly update their information on us. We do that annually. Lee County always contacts me to say, here's your information. Has anything changed? And it hadn't.
Can we change something?
That would
Make
be
it
illegal.
count, like, I don't know what the, what are the stipulations?
Find out what the criteria is for Lee County.
Do what?
We need to find out their criteria.
That's what I'm saying,
county's
like, what do
criteria,
we,
to make
how
it
do
a
we
regional.
fit? Right. How can
Is-
we
is
fit
it
into
be-
their criteria?
Is it because of our partnership with the school board and the property? Does that distinguish us
I
from
would
other
encourage all
parks?
of you to go on Lee County and see what that is, and contact the person to see about that, and
Okay.
educate yourself on that. I'll look up the person who emails me each year about our information, about our park, to see if we do qualify, if we ever do qualify for the regional, but right now, we're just local. Has to do with a lot of different things.
Do you know the
don't-
website?
Interesting.
Just do Lee County
Okay,
and cruise around there.
Lee Gov, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
LeeCounty.gov.
yeah.
I think it's Lee Gov,
Oh, Lee Gov.
Lee
I think you're right,
G-O-V. Lee dot.
Be Jesse.
No, it wasn't. It was, no, it wasn't Jesse. It was money from a totally different department. And I cannot remember their name, but it was just recently that they send the property information and they say, has any of this changed? And I say, no. And they go, thank you.
I'm just curious, I'm thinking it would benefit us possibly.
It's a deal breaker in terms of our getting the funding that is so necessary for us to do what we
And
want
the
to do
fees
for
we're
our
charging and
community.
everything. yeah.
Absolutely, and why are all the other parks getting funding from Lee County and we're not? It's a elephant in the room question.
So, and kind of going off of that, and Barbara, you know this because we've been looking into silver sneakers for years. And
Exactly.
that came up at one of the council member meetings, and we're trying to see if we can change that. But the reason we cannot apply for or be a silver sneakers is because we are so close to ones on either side of on either end of the island. They do proximity. They don't do, well, you know, you're the beach and you have traffic, and so we're gonna try to see if we can get an exception to that. But again, it's because we have too many proximities that are super close to us for the silver sneakers. They don't know that people are not gonna go off the island for that. So we're looking into that as well to help offset some costs. So we'll see what we need to do when our application is reviewed and they say no, where we can go to maybe appeal it or see if there's something else that we can. So I'll keep you posted on that. Nothing's happened yet. We don't have our application reviewed yet, so I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, does anybody have anything else on the redevelopment? If not, let's move on to the Friends of Bay Oaks, the status there.
The status is the same as it was. We don't have, I mean, unless we just want to put in a temporary form with people's names on it, with positions, and do it that way and change it out. But the problem is that even if we do that, then you have to have set up meetings, you have to have all this kind of stuff, and to me, it's not going to be sustainable if we don't have people volunteering
Right.
for all of the positions, to be volunteers for the Friends of Bay Oaks and that type of thing. So I don't, is it better to get it going and then hope the volunteers come in? Because I know we've been advertising it in the newsletters and supporting it.
Right.
It's on the chamber,
Exactly.
and we have not gotten one inquiry.
You know what, I think for me, when I'm looking at various nonprofit friends groups, part of the initiative and the incentive for people to be a part is for the social aspect of it, is for, oh, let's get together and make Bay Oaks wonderful, or make Mount House wonderful. But what we have at Bay Oaks is already a social seniors group, and they're already cohesive, and they're already doing events, and they're already having fun together. And for them to say, well, why would I need to do Friends of Bay Oaks when in fact we're already accomplishing that social, meeting that social need? So, you know what, and
But
so,
that brings up a really good point, because if they would understand, and if we could actually have a social event that we make a presentation to of why it's important to become a registered 501c3, that then we can do fundraisers for our park, then we can do different grants for Bay Oaks, that type of thing. We can't do that
the way. it
the
is.
way that we're structured right now. But if we were,
Yeah.
but maybe they don't even know that, is what I'm saying.
Well, and
Well-
I suppose, I mean, one of the things that I thought was so brilliant when Allison came up with the idea with our Mound House membership is that the Friends of the Mound House would be on that membership. So you say, okay, for $40, you get to be a, Mound House member, and then, kick in another $10 and you're automatically a Friends member. And then you
Exactly.
start building that membership just through that process of doing a membership. And I think at this stage of our budget situation, we probably can't do that this year. But maybe that's something mindful for our strategic planning for next year to say, let's talk about having a Friends of Bay Oaks membership that's part of an annual membership as an extra, $10. And I would venture to say, and especially those social seniors, I guess they don't have to pay any membership, right? To be a part of social seniors?
No, they have fees that depend on if they're a resident or a non-resident.
Okay, but in order to be a social senior, there's no membership. They get to do that for free.
Well, they pay the fee. They pay the fee for wherever they're going, so
Well, but
nothing is-
those are the events.
right,
Those are
right. That
events.
would
But
be for-
in other words, anybody can be a member of the
social
social
seniors.
seniors, and then they just go to these various events. Yeah.
So the social seniors are the little excursions you all go on?
Yeah,
Bay Oaks Social-
and they have a lot of.
So they don't have to be a member of Bay Oaks itself to go on that? They
Right,
just-
because
they
they're
just
not-
pay
Right.
for the
They
They just pay their per fee thing.
And they have lots of events.
And I would venture to say, because that's a benefit of the town, it's a huge amenity, why would that not be dovetailed into a membership arrangement? And again, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
anything specific, but I think it's a conversation for us to have when our strategic planning conversation comes up again,
Which is
Very
gonna be
good.
soon, yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
and even if we don't activate it until the following year,
Good to start.
but I do think that, they're getting a huge bang for the buck, right? But they don't
And you
have to
sell
be,
out on those a
they
lot.
don't have to be a town resident, they don't have to be a Bay Oaks member, and they're getting all of these planned events. Yes, they
Benefits.
have to pay for each event, but planning is done by our town staff.
You bet.
That takes a huge amount of labor on our part to make all of that happen,
It really does. The planning of our events, I don't really know that anybody knows that the comment of, well, if you don't have visitors at Bay Oaks, what are you doing? Oh, we have a ton.
Yes.
Yeah.
We plan so much, and unless you have planned events or any programming, kids, teens, youth, volleyball, there's so much planning that goes
That time
on
needs to be
behind the scenes.
compensated, though.
It's a tremendous amount
It
of
is a-
work on
it's a
behalf of
wonderful-
staff to make those things happen.
You bet
And
it
my
is.
point is like, if we can get somehow, a Friends of the Bay Oaks to help subsidize that effort, I think it'll be a good
So,
place. So let's talk about that for sure.
What Karen was talking about, Danielle has continued to talk to the BOSS participants to see if anybody wants to volunteer. Because not only do we want volunteers for the Friends of Bay Oaks, we want volunteers for our facility. I mean, what a wonderful way to share our community with our volunteers. It would be I still think it's a wonderful idea. There have been a couple of people who have been interested, but I think if some of you would like to, I could see if Danielle could schedule a time where you could socialize with some of the Bay Oaks seniors, social seniors, when season comes in, because they start their trips in November, but, they do have heightened season. So
Right.
maybe one of you would like to be a part of that, just to spend a few minutes with them and see if you could start cultivating that. I don't think it's too early to do that. And it seems to be a good fit that somebody from that group would love to support Bay Oaks, because they have been participants in that. So I don't know if you all would like to see if I could talk to Danielle to see if you all could maybe arrange that, so you could have a little social event with them.
That would be good.
Either
Yes,
tagged on to
yes.
what they're doing or something and just
Yeah.
see if you
So
could
that they
find somebody.
understand what the difference is of actually having this registration and what are the possibilities that we can do because of it.
Yeah.
Because we can't
Yeah.
without it. So
No, we can't.
Okay, so I'll get with Danielle and then see if we can get something set up to where, Karen, would you be available to
Sure.
come? Is
Yep, I'll
anybody
make
else,
myself.
Barbara or Betty or Beth, you all
I'll be
want
happy
me to
to
see who
Yeah.
can?
do it.
Okay.
Be
Well,
happy
I'll
to
send
help
it
with
out
it.
to all of you and hopefully you can all come. And then we'll talk about, she can say, have some availabilities and we see what works for everybody.
perfect.
Good. Oh, that makes me feel like we're making some progress
I
on
know,
that.
because I keep
I like
hating to
that.
say nothing.
Yeah, Good.
Now we have a plan.
We have a
Yes,
plan.
yeah.
We have a plan.
and we like plans.
Yes, plans are good.
Okay, well, I think we do have a plan. Let's move on then to the departmental report with Allison.
So, we do have we extended our hours a little bit. Of course, after summer camp, we were able to do that with our staffing. So, we're open a little bit earlier for our facility and, back to 7 o'clock. So, during summer camp, we had to shorten our hours because, we had to focus on our core services, which is our summer camp, and we just didn't have the staffing in order to stay open late. So now, we do have, one late night, which is Friday, we stay open till 8. Otherwise, it's 7 to 7, and then, of course, on Saturday, it's 8 to 3. We are not closed on Sunday, and I know, Karen, a while back, you wanted us to be 7 days a week, but with the budget, there's just really no way that
I
we
get it,
can,
I get
we
it.
can do that. But we're really trying hard to accommodate, the days that we are open. And if we do have a lot of participants that want to come in later on Saturday, we'll revisit that. But right now, we really feel that we're fitting the demand as much as we can, the majority-wise for that. So I think that's one of the biggest changes that we've had. Our summer camp was very successful. We are planning, of course, now our different athletics because we're excited to be able to have some volleyball and we have the basketball. And so we've got some different youth programs that are being planned, and also some of our teen programs. And of course, our boss trips will start up in November, so those are all being planned. The goal is to have a calendar sent out to all of our Club Rec participants on our school calendar has the school calendar. We're gonna mimic it that, so you know when the winter camp is, when the fun days are, when spring break camp is, and when the facility is closed due to holidays. So they are preparing that, so I'm very excited that and the boss trips will all be planned out for the season, so people, everybody can really see and sign up as they want to. So we're very excited about that. And do you all have, also, I gotta mention Fright Night. Volunteers for Fright Night, please. We are planning that. That'll be on the 22nd of October. Excuse me, no, Friday the 21st, I'm sorry, of October is when we're gonna have our Fright Night. We are always looking for, of course, candy donations, and if you all would like to volunteer, it's a really, really fun event. And I do believe that the team is gonna mimic it from last year because it was a lot of fun to be outside.
It was so good outside.
And have
It
the
was
It was like a game
excellent.
changer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The team did a really good job. So, Dan, would you like to please volunteer? You let me know if you're gonna be available to volunteer. If not, I know you'll be there, right?
I don't think I've missed one yet.
Very good. Okay, so I know we were gonna be there. Are any of you all?
Wedding that
We
night.
go. I'm usually.
You have a wedding on
We have a
Friday
wedding
night?
that night. Yeah.
What
Oh,
about,
really?
Becky, you were there?
We
with
definitely
the-
go. It's just
Okay.
I'm usually chasing my children around.
You are Barbara.
why I
you
haven't volunteered yet.
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a beach wedding.
What time?
Betty volunteered last year too, right? Didn't you do the costume? contest?
Yes, yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
be
I was
happy
one of
to
the
vol-
judges
I
last time.
volunteered last year, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think, Betty, you were one of the costume
Yes,
judges.
one of the judges, yes.
Fun.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I love it the way those
I could be
kids come
honorary
up. and-
photographer.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, well, we're really excited about that. Tell all your friends, we welcome volunteers and just people to come out. Because this is one of our biggest events and it's a lot of fun.
Well, and the thing was that last time, after the event, after the costumes and everything, they were still able to go back in and participate. So, I mean, it wasn't over just because the costume event was complete.
And I know
And,
it was hot, but I really thought it was great to utilize the ground, so
It was
Yeah.
awesome. The food trucks are great. Everything was great.
they did a
Yeah.
really good job.
I have a question about volleyball. Is it designed, like the time for the volleyball, just for my own curiosity, not, there's no judgment in my question. Was it just as far as whoever's coaching it, that was when they were available, or is it designed for the kids to come over after school and do the volleyball? I was curious why it was 2 o'clock or 2:30. Cause like when y'all had basketball, it was in the evenings. I was just curious.
So your question is, actually, I'll email staff and have them contact you. I don't have that off the top. of my
Okay.
head.
Where's that at?
So your question
It's
is-
not. I just know that volleyball was from like 2:30 to something. I don't remember.
So why is volleyball at 2 and not?
Yeah, I was just curious. Just
Well, if they- yeah, I
like
think
for us, we use like for soccer, we get kids from off island. For basketball, we were able to do it. We are off island as far as school goes, and we don't get out till 3. So like, and this school gets out earlier, but if you're not at the beach elementary, then I don't know that there's a lot of kids that can attend at that time, which is fine. I was just curious.
And where is the date of the?
I don't see it on here.
I
I
know,
just,
I didn't think they had a time yet for the.
online it said 2:30 to something.
Oh, okay. I'll ask staff, and I'll get back to you, Becky.
Okay, I was just curious.
And I have a curious question too, so
Okay.
feeding off of what Becky just said. When I look at these hours for pickleball, is that just with the assumption that those are the indoor pickleball courts?
yeah.
So the outdoor pickleball courts are available starting when in the morning?
Yeah, the pickleball courts are available as soon as you can see. We have nets that are always out there. We try to schedule outdoor basketball courts, so people who want to play basketball outdoors, that doesn't conflict, so we have times for that. So, yeah, and mainly people really want to play inside, so.
Right, especially this, but I was thinking if they didn't want to wait till 10:30
Oh,
and they
they could-
wanted to go early before it gets hot, that they
Right.
could be there at 9 o'clock
Yes.
or even 8 o'clock and play pickleball outside if they want. Okay. It didn't state that
Just
here,
first
so
come,
that
first
was
serve.
my question.
Right, yeah, the reason is because this is inside.
Sure.
Construction programs, and you know our tennis courts. and
Exactly.
People can walk around and do things on their own outside, so, I'll see about the volleyball, Becky, and yes, they can come anytime they can see, to play the pickleball.
Well, I'm looking at the volleyball. I'm looking online now. I don't see it online. It might have been in the Observer that I saw the time.
Well, I'll make sure that that's correct.
Somewhere. Yeah, maybe it's not
And-
correct.
And I'll have them verify the times, because that's when our club rec is. We usually don't have anything in the gym, we have club rec. Right now, we have a closed campus, so we don't have anything, so I can't imagine it being.
Maybe
during
I
the
misread it
weekends.
then. It's possible.
Okay. I know I just signed the proposal for the volleyball, so I know it's gonna be out soon, so, I can't imagine them doing that during club rec, because like I said, we don't have anything during those times.
Okay.
If you notice, everything from 2 to 5 is gone, because that's.
Right. I
that's
must have
our-
read it wrong
our
then.
Kiddos, we have our program that get to utilize the gym. And then also, our interlocal agreement with the school, we'll be having, our gym will be closed, soon, to accommodate their fitness classes inside. So I know that's coming up.
The school fitness classes, right?
Yeah, that was in the interlocal. We are to allow them to use the gymnasium certain days a week and certain times, and then we provide our after-school programs, our after-school clubs like they did. So we're following that interlocal for there.
So I have a question, and only because August 2nd seems like forever ago. This is on the advisory board at the meeting about,
Oh,
no, this was the fee schedule, no, merging crab and all that kind of thing.
I have not had time, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest, to do any language on that, so I was gonna put it on the next one.
okay.
Because
perfect.
it was my responsibility, and I really need you all to look over that, because I just can't fit it into my schedule to redo all of it, to see, I know Bruce wanted to talk about putting events in there and had some very specific language things, and then I would run it by the town attorney. But I've not been able to get to that with the extra meeting of the fee schedule. That put a lot of extra work But it is, I do want to have it on the agenda for next time, Karen, and,
That's great, because
Yeah.
I just really couldn't remember seeing anything.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that I didn't miss it.
no, you didn't.
Oh, you didn't miss any of it,
I just could not get to it,
because I think we were all aware of it.
yeah.
Okay.
So I know we have a deadline of a year to
Yes.
do that, so that was the thing that I had to push off. But it is on there for the next time, and I'm keeping it on that agenda to keep it fresh. But I would like you all to help me out and come up with some language, because it will help us get it done faster, because I don't always catch everything that you all may want to have in there, so, but that's something that definitely on the next meeting for sure. And then also our strategic plan is coming up soon. I think
Yes.
that's, it's this fall sometime, so we'll be reviewing that as well.
Okay.
For that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, and I think Karen alluded to it, and I thought it was such a salient point. But I don't think when we were talking about any of the fee increases, or even with the, you know, the incentive for wanting to do this redevelopment in general, that there was a finite figure of how many people attend or come to Bay Oaks events or programs or sports. And I think that there was a total attendance thing that you quoted, and I loved that, but I don't remember what that was.
They were check-ins. It wasn't so much well, how do, because you gave me all that information, I don't have it
And
here with me.
I'd like to, I'd like to say, because budget's coming up and people are going to, you know, balk about fee increases, tell the public how many people we serve on an annual basis. Is it 10,000? Is it 5,000? Is it 50? I mean, we're talking kids, adults, the seniors, you know, in virtually any event that we participate in as part of Bay Oaks. What is that figure? Because I think it's really phenomenal that we serve so many people, not only on the island community, but elsewhere, for as little amount as we actually have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when I had presented it back to council, the person who works for you, Allison, I can't remember his name, but so it wasn't so much that, because.
Jeff, yeah.
Jeff, so the first numbers that came out were about membership. And it's not like we have that many members per se, but we have check-ins. So the utilization of Bay Oaks versus the membership.
I'm not concerned about the membership.
Yeah,
I want to talk
the
about the
utilization.
total number of people that we serve on an
And those were
annual
in those
basis.
numbers that Jeff
Yes.
gave me, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but I can get that, we can redistribute that.
And the council had all that information, you know, as far as the spreadsheet on the budget numbers. And with our meeting coming up on the 8th at 5:01, that is when the budget discussions will start, September 8th, September 22nd. Okay, so that's your time to get up and be heard about anything. Both the meetings start at 5:01. First hearing for the budget, September 8th, Thursday. That's this Thursday. 5:01. I'll have all that information ready in case council members have questions about how many people utilize or how many members we have and things of that way. But the check-ins are, but we were not able to distinguish between, you know, different people, just how many people came in to be able to
I don't
check
think
in.
there's a need to go into detail. You
Yeah.
can say,
Right.
a total number of so many people were served by the town's Bay Oaks.
Well, some people wanted to know how many were residents and how many were not. And our system right now, we can't track the
Can't track that.
check-ins like that.
That
so
shouldn't
much.
have to
Okay.
matter.
Yeah.
You know, I think those details, people are gonna forget about the details anyway.
Right,
But
right.
that's a
They just want the
hugely
numbers.
influential number. Just
You bet.
you know, shoot it with that one number to say, how many
Yep.
people do we serve on an annual basis? Boom.
And I want to say it was close to 15,000.
That's
When
what
I
thought,
added it
something
all
like
up.
that. I mean, that's enormous.
So here, I have it right here in an email form, so 16, yeah, it was close to 15,000. But I can forward you this email. I'll forward it to everyone.
'Cause it
from
was
Jeff.
when you
Thank you.
gave the report, Karen, that I heard, and I was
Yeah.
like, that had never come up at a Bay Oaks advisory board. I thought
No.
that's salient information.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
it is.
it's about the utilization, not so much the memberships.
Absolutely.
And that's annual.
Absolutely.
annual.
This is not
Yeah.
a private club.
So this was
Something that we
from,
provide to the community.
at the time, I think it was from July of 2021 through June of 2022,
Well, that's
is what
pretty
the numbers
current.
are.
Do those
So-
numbers, Allison, include like the Easter egg hunt or Fright Night or?
No,
Oh, no.
It'd
this
be
is
interested, I'd be
facility.
interested to see what it is with those numbers included.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's utilization
that would be a
is-
great
it's the
add-on.
grounds.
to
You
this.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
Absolutely
great add-on.
And you know, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it's very hard to get hard numbers from our, you know, our events, because even though we're taking in money, we have a lot of people that made donations, that give free tickets, and then families can be different numbers. So it's not all when people, you know, you don't know if they're an individual or a
What their
family.
schedules are.
Yeah, it's just due to the fact that we have so many people, and we just don't have the money to be able to get the system to track, and when we've not been able, so they're what I call soft numbers. They're
Well, yeah, I'm a
approximate.
visual person, so
Yeah.
pictures speak 1,000 words.
There
and
you
if
go, that's
have any
true,
pictures
Dan.
of
Yeah.
like the Easter egg hunt and Fright Night, and
I got,
there's a lot. a
There
lot of
are,
people there.
yeah, we
Yeah.
usually get between.
got years
500
of pictures.
700.
There's a lot of people that attend those events.
I love every summer when the kids come to the pool and they come by school bus and
Oh,
these little
yeah.
kids that are like 6 years old and they come
That's
in a
true,
little
too. All the
line
other
Yep.
and they're trudging to the pool. I mean, I should bring my camera next time
Yeah.
when that happens because it's such a cute sight.
Yeah.
They're so excited about
Excited.
coming to the pool and, yeah.
You bet.
I love that the obstacle course is
Yes.
on now.
Yes.
I mentioned it the other day to a friend. He's like, "Why are you going to the pool? You have one." I'm like, "They have an obstacle course."
And it's hard.
I don't
I've
have
seen
that.
them do it.
Yeah, the
It's
kids love
really
it.
hard. I've seen that.
I think it's
and
really cool.
That thing on TV, that show. I guess,
Yes,
right?
wipe out or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm checking about the volleyball, Becky. It's for third and fifth grades.
Right.
And so I'm checking on why the time is, because students that don't go to Beach Elementary may want to participate.
Was it 2:30? I really could have
Yeah.
read it incorrectly. It might have been in the Observer.
No, it was, I'm sure it was, because it is 2:30.
All right, well done.
I was like, "Oh, my fourth grader would love that." I was like, "Oh no."
So this is their thinking, staff's thinking is they wanted people to be able to do it right after school.
That's what I was thinking it was.
So
yeah.
people wouldn't have to come back on the island.
Yeah, I get that. Well, if it doesn't work, maybe
And
next
it's-
year we can change
yeah.
the time.
And it's part of the after-school clubs that we
Yeah.
provide for this, so that's why we're able to do that and still have our club rec, yeah.
I love the after-school clubs. I think they're amazing that y'all do that, and it's definitely a necessity.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you for finding that out.
you're welcome, I figured you
right.
knew.
If there isn't anything else, we'll move on then to the board member items. And Beth, let's start with you.
I have nothing.
Nothing today?
I think we covered most of it. I did remember something. So one of the things that was mentioned, and I went back and looked on what we had submitted for the fees. We said that full-time employees of Bay Oaks would be the same as residents. And then it was brought up at the town council meeting when I presented those. Number one, I don't think it was on that list, or it was missed on that list or something. But anyway, Rexanne brought up, would we consider, or should we consider doing maybe a discount for full-time employees, even less than what the residents pay, as part of a incentive or a benefit for working there? So I just wanted to bring that up, because we
it's a
had
good
said,
point.
we had
Yeah.
said it would be for, they pay the same as the resident fee.
Right.
And I think right now, they're not paying anything, right, Alice? They're not paying resident, or full-time employees don't pay anything to use the,
I'll have to check, I don't know that for sure.
okay.
When we discussed fees, we did it either for the pool or the rec center and not the other one. Because I wrote Allison after and I was like, we didn't discuss it. I don't remember offhand. I think we did it for the pool and not the rec center. So it's like, we have to include that for the rec center
No, we did
also.
the rec center.
But then we didn't do it for the pool. It was one of the two.
But I put it in there.
Okay, because I remember you said just bring it up at the next meeting.
But do we think as a board that we should have a discount for the employees? Or do we want to leave it that they, you know, it's a recommendation, no matter what, but I'm just saying, do we want to recommend that it's discounted, or do we want to just keep it as a resident fee?
I have an opinion, but I'm gonna let you all.
Well, I could go two
I
different
would
ways
like,
here.
I
I mean,
would like to
it's-
hear your opinion, though.
I mean, I have an opinion too, but I always do. but-
Well,
Yeah,
and I'm not really
that's
here to
okay.
give my opinion, so you all are here to.
No, but
we've
you know,
got
I'm
you.
interested. you've
I
got
will
an-
tell you my experience as a staff person
Mm-hmm.
of organizations in the past. Wellness and health has been huge. And if I've worked for Pinellas County, I've worked for the state of Texas, I've worked, you know, different federal government. They have either given us an incentive for free membership for the gym to be able to promote our health and wellness. So that's my experience with other municipalities, and I know they're larger, state and federal and county, but it has always been a wonderful thing if you can find a way to help support your employees, because it's a wonderful 100% return, because your employees are physically, mentally more, and they call in sick I mean, you're just helping them be the best that they can be. And so I've really appreciated that when I have gotten the benefit. I'm not telling you all to do that.
But it's
but
hard
I'm
to
just
find people
sharing-
now too.
I'm just sharing what either it was a discount or a free membership. Now, this was years ago, but I think there's a lot of, you know, I think it would be really great to see whatever you all choose to do, a deep discount or the same rate as you all had. So, but I think it's a really good incentive and benefit, and especially
bet.
during these times. And, you know, people are on the beach, so if you think about it, they could just walk over, and it's very close to other departments. I'm way down the street, but, you know.
Right.
for
Well, and I look at it too from a recruiting perspective. I mean, we have so
Right.
much difficulty hiring people right now, and to have this as an advertised benefit in recruiting efforts, I think, I mean, I'm all for giving it to them free. You know, they put in so many hours and everything else, that's my opinion. But I also think it's a two-way street, that it would be a great recruiting point.
And it's only the full time, like we're talking about. We're not talking about dealing with 3,000 people. It's not gonna really hit the budget. Like,
no.
it's just an incentive to keep people on staff, and
Exactly.
I agree with that.
I have a question. Now, we're talking about full-time employees only for Bay Oaks, right? And that would be
In the
the
town, I believe.
pool,
It should be the town. not
or
the
would
whole
this be the
town.
whole town
It
of
would be
Fort
the
Myers
town.
Beach?
Right.
I mean,
Okay,
I was thinking
Oh.
it was the town.
the whole town,
The
okay,
town.
that was my question.
Yes.
And then, do we know how
Wait,
many
the town
full-time-
employees.
Town
Right.
employees.
Not like,
Full-time town employees, how many town employees do we have?
I don't know. Under 100. We have like, 7.
70 something?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think I would definitely advocate for free membership, agreed.
I do too.
Huge incentive, absolutely.
I think that would be good, yes.
Yeah, and then that can be included as part of their benefit package.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming part-time people do not get benefits, contractors obviously don't get benefits. But I don't know if there's a minimum number of hours that you consider for full-time. Is it the true 40 hours a week? Is it 38? Is it 32? 40, okay. Do we have more, do we have a lot of part-time? Or how many, what do we have? Because maybe you do it as a graduated scale or a different scale for part-time versus full-time. Full-time is free.
full-time is free and part-time is
Part-time
resident or
is
something.
50% or something. I just don't know what that ratio is between part-time and full-time.
Yeah, definitely we have.
Does it get messy, then it's like a 2-hour full-time versus a 30-hour full-time?
Exactly.
We do have, I believe, I know we have more full-time than part-time. And I do know that I'm probably the largest department that has part-time. Although with the pandemic, we combined the part-timers into full-time to allow for us to be staffed. So I don't know how many part-time we have.
It's not
But I know-
broken down, but we have 76 for the fiscal year 21-22 and proposed 83 for 22-23.
Okay, yeah.
How many for 22?
And that's just a people count.
83.
That's just a people count, right, Dan? Not,
Yes.
okay.
Some of them are contracted.
Hmm.
Some positions are contracted in there, I think.
Yeah, and I think for now, just because it'll be easier on administration, if we cannot think about part-time or contract or any other kind of employment or even volunteer boards, we could then be considered, like, okay, as an advisory board, why are we not getting free membership, we're not getting paid? So let's not confuse all of those, just
Right,
say
I agree.
full-time employees
I agree.
for now, let's just keep it simple.
Yeah, full-time.
Yeah, I think so too.
So can we amend that for the council and make that recommendation?
If you want to come, somebody come on the 8th.
I'm coming anyway, so I can make that recommendation. Do I do that in public comment, or do I do that when it actually comes time for the discussion?
Usually, you can do, I think before the hearing opens and they have public comment, you could do it then.
Okay,
That would be good.
So you all get a consensus on this for the vote, and we'll do this. Somebody make a motion to,
I found the numbers here if you want full-time, part-time. Full-time 74, part-time 18.
oh, yeah, so we want to definitely keep this just at full-time as a benefit, and no contractors either. Okay.
And maybe they're bringing in family members, or, I would be more likely to bring in a family member if I have a free membership. I'm only paying for one. It's a good incentive.
True.
Work out together.
there will be public comment during each of the 3 budget sessions. Thank you, Amy Baker.
Okay,
Also, yeah. Okay. There will be public comment during each of the 3 budget items also, so, yeah. Right.
okay, so I guess I will make the motion to suggest free memberships for full-time employees as a benefit and a recruiting incentive to hire employees.
I second.
Any
Barbara?
further discussion? If
Yeah,
not,
but
all
we
in favor?
Maybe just say, instead of using the word suggest, put recommend, because we're providing recommendations to council.
I'll amend that, say I recommend.
Yes, okay. All right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Very
And I can
good.
be there on the 8th to provide the public comment.
Okay, good, good,
Those,
thank you.
They start at 5:01.
But isn't the regular town council meeting at 3 that day?
Yeah, but all the budget hearings will be after that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else that you had?
Nope, that was
Okay.
it.
Barbara,
Nothing to report, thank you.
nothing? Becky?
I don't have anything else either.
Okay. I'm just going to say that I thought that the publicity that we got for the Bayside Park was certainly well-deserved. And I'm so pleased that we had enough people that were able to participate in that. And we had some family members, and they were just really surprised. They thought it was great, so very good. All right. So that brings us to future meetings. Our meeting would normally be on October 4th. Is there any problem with that? Okay. October 4th at 9 a.m. here in the chambers.
And I will include the language for the merging of CRAB and
Yes.
BORCAB, and also try to come back with some updates for you all's, you had some inquiries, so try to get that back on the agenda. And then I'll let you know when the strategic plan update. I know it's coming up
Okay.
in the fall. I don't know if it's October, November, but
Well, and when we're talking about crab, I think it sometimes helps to, if people really, I mean, we haven't had crab now for a couple of years, and newer people are going to say, well, what did they ever do? So I think it's important to give them some credit for what they did do at one time. I mean, just educating people on what crab was about. So, okay. Is there anything else to come before this meeting? Dan, did you have anything?
I think you covered it.
I don't mean to ever ignore you.
I usually don't have a problem interjecting, I guess. Probably shouldn't sometimes, but no, I'm good, thank you.
I figure if you've got something, you're gonna
I usually,
let me know.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move, Barbara Hill.
Barbara?
I'll second the motion. Karen Woodson?
Karen? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and we are adjourned at 10:11. I think that's some kind of a record for us, isn't it?
You all.
Boy, thank you. We moved right along on this one.